Can you state your name?
Daniel who?
And what major are you?
Cell biology. How did I decide on cell biology? Well, I mean, I guess in high school, I guess I watched a video. I think everyone has seen it as high school students, called The Intellect of a Cell.
Mm-hmm.
It was made by, I think, Harvard University.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a really cool video. I was maybe in like 11th grade in AP biology, and I was really interested in just imagining how all these things actually function inside the cell, and we can't even see it, But so that got me hooked to biology at first, right? But when I came to college, I had, I guess, varying interests. I came in as a bioscience major, but I had a lot of time to experience with different types of majors. Like I had a stint with computer science, biomedical engineering, and then I decided to go back to biology. I didn't know what type of biology, but I was like, okay, this is why I came to this school. I found it interesting in high school. I really like it. I'll go back to biology. But, at that time I was thinking, okay, maybe I'd be a pre-med student, right? But, a couple of classes, with my fellow classmates, it was really competitive, and it's not something I really wanted to do, So I went, I guess, away from kind of like the pre-med attitude to more of, I guess, like EVE, evolution ecology, stuff like. So I took a ecology class, I took an oceanography class. I thought I was going to be marine bio, but and then what I really figured was, I talked to a couple of professors and they were saying it's really hard to get into that field. So I was a little discouraged, but I eventually took Biz 104. Cell biology with Dr. Starr, and that class I really liked. It was really interesting, and ultimately that really pushed me into changing my major to final cell biology. For the curriculum they have now, I don't think any class would be, I guess, useless.
Yeah.
I feel like you need to know pretty much everything that is listed. I mean, I took it all in the classes, and I mean, I guess the only things that cell biology per se that you wouldn't necessarily need, but you should know, is like stuff from like Biz 2C, more from the phylogeny and stuff. But any biologist should know that material. Even in 2D too.
Yeah.
It's stuff that's bigger in scope, but it's still useful. You need to know it as a biologist, just basics.
You took a long time deciding what you wanted to do for your major. Do you feel
Yeah.
like it was easy to satisfy those lower division requirements, or did you have to go through a lot of change?
No, not really. I mean, as I was like, trying out new majors and things, I still kept with the biology program. So I did my chem, I did my OChem at the same time that I was exploring other things, just in case I went back. So in a way, I always had this like feeling like, okay, I still like biology, so I might stick with it, but I'm also trying other things. So in that way, I don't think it was difficult at all.
And you had enough room in your schedule to do that?
Yeah. I mean, that's primarily the reason why I needed to take a fifth year, because I took basically 1 year to take, or I guess cumulatively 1 year to decide, taking different classes, what should I do? But the core classes I kept taking. That's why I'm still okay,
Yeah. When did you start doing lab research?
I did, you talking about biology lab research or lab research in
Any
general?
lab research.
I think last summer I was in a research lab for oceanography research, paleo-oceanography research. It was with a professor I knew after taking an oceanography class, so I was thinking I'd do a little thing with that too. Actually, no. That was my second one. I just remember, I've done a lot. The first one would actually be in a fish physiology lab. So maybe my third year.
How did you go about looking for that? Was it difficult?
For me, it wasn't difficult. I've always been told that, just ask. Honestly, what I did was, I just went on, websites of, lab websites or whatever from the academic departments, respectively, and I just found professors whose research sounded interesting, and then, I contacted them, and either they said, I don't have any space, or we don't need any undergrads now, or they were like, come on in and we could talk to you. So that's how I got into my first research position, and pretty much all my research positions, I just asked. I didn't have to I know there are like centers like the ICC or what's it called, the Undergraduate Research Center you can go to. I mean, you provide help too, but I think it's easier if you just ask yourself. But you just have to have the motivation to do it yourself and the confidence to do it. And to be honest, it was kind of, I guess, nerve-wracking to just go in and ask, like, in person.
Did you have to email quite a lot of professors before you found a position?
Yeah, I mean, I guess within the MCU department, I did. But what I started doing, which was more direct approach, I just kind of knocked on the door and went and like, hey, like I introduced myself and asked if, are you looking for any undergrads for your lab, right?
Yeah.
So I did that, but ultimately the reason why I got this position is because I knew Rima from Biz 103. She was my TA for Biz 103. So I did well in the class, and I went to a lot of our office hours, and we talked a lot. It doesn't have to be biology stuff, just random stuff like that. So, and she told me that a postdoc in her lab was looking for someone to do protein work. So, because of that, after the quarter finished, I was starting looking at all my options for labs, and I was having a hard time trying to get into lab. But then I remembered, Rima, she offered me a position, so I contacted her, and then ultimately I talked to Dr. LaSalle, and here I am.
And you started that in your third year, so was the desire to do more lab work possibly a factor in your decision to have a fifth year at Davis?
Yeah, definitely, because I want to go to graduate school. If I wasn't majoring in cell biology, if I just did like biosci, I would have already been graduated. I'm not technically behind. All my requirements have been done. But because I chose to stay an extra year because I wanted to get laboratory experience. I felt like the couple months that I spent here just in this lab wouldn't be enough experience to get me to graduate school. It's just not enough. So I figured that this extra year would give me the extra boost and the extra experience that would make me look, I guess, a better applicant for graduate school. I mean, right now, I haven't really utilized many resources, but I should be soon. I'm thinking of, I guess, like for any personal statements or personal, what's it called? Statement of purpose. That's what we call it in grad school. I think there's a service at ICC they offer.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot the name of it, but they definitely help you look over and edit it. And but in terms of like different grad schools, I'm probably going to just ask around the lab, or ask some of my professors. But most right now, I'm just kind of like browsing websites. We're thinking, okay, where am I? Where do I want to go to grad school? What are the good grad schools for the type of programs I want to go to?
What's one thing that you've liked about Davis in your time here?
I think it's kind of like laid back, but it allows you to be focused because it's a small town. There's not as many distractions. I mean, some would call this place kind of boring, but I find that because it is so quiet, it kind of gets you focused more on what you're doing in school, and people are nice. Over here, it's really safe, and it's a close-knit community. It's a nice place to be for your undergrad.
What do you wish you had known when you were a freshman that you know now?
No, that's a hard question. I guess I wish I knew that I wanted to get into research a little earlier, so I could have had even more experience. I mean, in that way, I probably would have graduated last year. So, but I think it was okay. I still feel that this fifth year is good, that I had time to actually explore and actually weigh out some of my options. I mean, yeah, I think if I knew I wanted to research earlier, definitely start earlier, maybe my second year.
Yeah.
To get into research like as early as possible, it's kind of, they tell you, oh, you have these options open, but the thing is, most professors, they want a certain level of experience, a certain level of knowledge. And in a way, it's kind of hard to get while, they're just telling you, oh, you need to take biochemistry, or oh, you should already taken genetics. But as a second year, you're already taking OChem, and maybe you'll take genetics, maybe you'll take biochem. It really just depends on the student. But if you don't have that experience, then it's hard to get into a lab because they want that experience. So I kind of wish that maybe professors would be more lenient and more willing to teach, I guess, or accept interns early. If they have that attitude, maybe it would, at least for students who want to go into graduate school, it will benefit them more to get that extra year of experience rather than third and fourth year. 3 full years of experience looks better. So that's probably what I want to say.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Thank you.